this is Ed Leach. Welcome back to our series of videos for dental practice owners, helping you really make good decisions around money. What I want to introduce you today is a simple framework we use for all of our clients, not only our dental practice owners, to help you make good decisions around your money, both short-term and long-term. One of the most common mistakes we find is once practice owners start earning money, right off the bat when they're starting their own practice, or even later on in life, is trying to figure out what type of account, how to structure their personal balance sheet, specifically when it comes to their assets. So for a second, I'd like you to imagine a field with a fence going right down the middle. And on either side of each side of the fence, you're going to have two buckets. On the one side, you're going to have two buckets that are going to be meant for one, your emergency fund, your cash reserve, your short-term emergency savings, whatever it is that you call it. We like to think of it as the money you need to help sleep at night, knowing that you have the unforeseen covered. And another bucket that is going to be for your short-term goals. Think of those as anything that's going to come up for you in the next 0 to 3 years. Maybe it's a big vacation, maybe it's saving for a first home, maybe it's even thinking of buying a second home, or sending a child off to college. Whatever that money is that you've earmarked that you know you're going to spend in the next couple of years belongs on that side of the fence. And why there's a fence going down the middle for specifically those two buckets is the decision of how do I invest or how do I save this money? What type of accounts? What type of investment should I decide on? Because I want to make sure I can make the most of this money. And that's usually where the conversation stops. Because what we explain to clients is that money, the greatest risk you have in that money is the risk of loss. And the greatest risk that you have in the short term in the investment markets is loss. Because in the short term, markets are unpredictable. So in order to eliminate that risk, keeping that money in high yield savings accounts and being really smart about how much money goes into these two buckets allow you to have a sense of security to know that whether it be something unforeseen, like you come home to a leaky roof and there's $10,000 to $20,000 out the door, or that vacation to Europe that you're planning for a couple weeks that's going to be $25,000 to $35,000 is secure. That's what those two buckets are meant for. Now, on the other side of the fence, you have two more buckets. Those buckets are one for your retirement accounts. Those could be your 401ks, your IRAs, your Roth IRAs, your cash balance pension plan if you have one for the practice, and also another bucket for your long-term investments. Think of that as your brokerage account, any money that you've invested for the long term. Now, on that side of the fence, why we call that the risky side of the fence is because your greatest risk for your long-term money is not risk of loss or permanent loss. It is the risk of inflation. Because over the next 10, 20, or 30 years, there's a level of inflation that you're going to experience. And let's use in this example, it's 2.5% to 3.5%. So for your money to maintain its current level of purchasing power, you would need at least a return of inflation to keep pace. However, no one comes into our office expecting that to be your goal, as I'd like to just maintain my purchasing power. I want to create wealth and enhance my lifestyle in the future. And that's where those two buckets being earmarked and having a long-term investment plan that you can stay disciplined to is going to be your greatest weapon, because over the long term, and history has shown this, if you stay invested in good and bad markets, you will have a good experience and a return greater than inflation for taking the risk of staying invested. And how do you do that? How do you deal with the short-term market fluctuations? The COVID pandemic, the market going down 20 or 30% in just a couple weeks, or the great financial crisis that saw the markets go down almost 40% and take clients almost 18 to 24 months to fully recover their money. How do you endure those types of financial markets with those two buckets? It's because through financial planning, we've allowed you to feel secure by having those short-term buckets funded and knowing that you have the cash set aside if you need it. In an earlier video, I talked about the importance of having liquidity and illiquidity and how powerful it is to have liquid assets that you can use and help you feel in control of your financial situation. That's why this simple framework has allowed clients to feel secure in that their short-term buckets and their short-term goals are taken care of, and their long-term money is on a path to help them to create wealth for the future. To summarize what we've talked about today is introducing a simple framework to help you make good decisions around your short-term and long-term money, helping you make sure that you are on a path to financial freedom. If you'd like to subscribe to our videos, make sure you click that button down below. Furthermore, if you'd like to have an initial phone call with us, please head over to our website. You can set up a time to speak with one of our advisors right on our website. Thank you so much, and look forward to talking to you soon.